Hello, me lovelies. Well, hello, Paul. Oh, I know I'm getting slagged off on Paddy's channel. Are you, Jax? Yeah, I know that. It's a given that I will be. But got a few things to talk about today, because we'll be talking about Mr. Conroy. But I've been looking through information, and I want to do a more in-depth talk about him, because I think it needs an in-depth talk about him, because he needs talking about it just. But let's get one thing out the way. He keeps on saying that he was commenting on my channel, wanting me to interview him. I can't remember asking me to interview him. I can remember him making comments, a few comments. It wasn't all the time, and it certainly wasn't ages ago he was doing them. It was just whenever Steve Wraith was on talking to me. But see, the problem I have with Paddy is I don't like his mouth. He's got a vile mouth, and I can't sit with anyone. Now, I know people say, oh, you've got to expect people curse now. It's different times. I'm sorry, I can't get used to it. I find it insulting to me when someone sits there cursing, because they haven't got the respect to speak to me in the same way, in the correct manner, a respectable manner. And I wouldn't sit there cursing at them. I just wouldn't do it. So, as far as I'm concerned, I was always iffy about actually having him on my channel, because I thought he's just going to come out with all this cursing and cursing and cursing. And also, he says things that, see, he thinks that I've got it, that basically Steve Wraith is my Svengali and I'm his Trilby, and he's hypnotized my mind to do his bidding and all this. It's not that at all. The reason I can't do a full show now on Paddy Conroy is exactly because I haven't looked in depth at him, or Steve, or the Sayers. I had to look at a bit today, but I'm going to need more time, or I won't understand this battle. And this isn't going to be me looking into it to this one side or the other. Look, let's put it this way, right? I don't like the fact that people who have used violence, who have ruined other people's lives, affected some other people's lives, whether it's Stephen Sayers or Paddy Conroy, I don't like them. That's the end of it. I don't like what they do. I don't like the fact that they try to be, well, Stephen Sayers doesn't. He's not online, is he? But I'm not going to signal out Paddy Conroy and say he's the only one that does it. He isn't. But they come online expecting to be celebrities for some reason. And also, and I've got to say it, no, I'm going to say it because he has some vile, disgusting things to say about me, so I'll speak my mind about him. He's not an intelligent man, Paddy. He's not an intelligent man at all. You can tell by the way he talks. And the way someone talks gives a lot away about how intelligent they are. And he just can't. That's all I can say about it. So I'd struggle to have a conversation with him. I'd be sitting there like thinking, where do I take this? Where do I take this now? You've got to have a baseline that you can actually communicate with the person, and I couldn't. So that's the reason I never had him on. But I always thought Steve was very fair when he was on here. He wasn't. Let's put it this way: if he'd started saying it outrageous, I would have pulled Steve for it. He knows I would have. Hello, Julie. Oh, big mammary glands. I'm not saying that. Big mammary glands. Oh, God, I sounded like Paddy then, didn't I? I'm starting to sound like him. But actually, I will just start going on and discussing more what's happening with him and the dream team at the moment, the evacuees from Fraggle Rock. But he's got to really realize, and this always happens, he's shown himself up when he goes into all this hate speech and all that, and he does them no favors. I don't know why people do this. If they don't like me for being a person, but when you go into hate speech because of who I am, what I am, that's when you've lost it. That's when you've lost it. He can never now be this and this thing. Oh, good God, no. This sales law thing that he's going on about, he's obsessed. Now, I don't know if this is the real Paul Ellis or not, but Paul, you want to be careful, mate, because I tell you now, if it doesn't matter by how many numbers you got, mate. It's if you can keep hold of your channel when you're coming out with hate speech. So anyway, that's it wasn't that, if that was real, I think it was the real one. Isn't that absolutely childish the way he's carrying on? I'll talk about Paul Ellis in a minute. He's had a real smackdown from YouTube. But yeah, it only ends up showing themselves up when they do that. I mean, he's going on that he does what he's done work with autistic kids. What am I? I'm high functional autistic. Yet he's treating me like that. And he did this thing, yet the sales law thing. He put up pictures of him, one holding a painting of The Simpsons, and one where he's with this woman and a little kid. And this thing called, I don't know whether it's a man or woman or who, it's called Star, is going, oh, look at how Paddy, look at him with the children. He's helped lots of children. Paddy's helped lots of children. I thought, wrong move to make. That proves nothing, because guess what? Jimmy Savile made millions and millions for children's charities. That doesn't prove anything. And it looked off. It just looked totally off doing that, putting it up there. So he hasn't got a very bright team behind him. This Star one is actually making things worse by the way it goes on. So it's just, you didn't, Jax, did you block Paul? You didn't block him, did you? No, I want him to come on here, because the little coward won't actually talk to me face to face. That's Paul Ellis, people don't know. Now, what's happened to Paul Ellis? You know, the documentary maker who is, you know, fair, and he's going to do everything right, and he's professional and all this business. Well, I've said from day one, he's just a bully, and he's using this cover of documentary for bullying. Well, he did a video. For people who don't know this, lots of you will know. Aya Kelsey. And he was saying in it, because I was talking about me and was saying that I used the term maps because I agreed with them and was sympathetic to them. Because you see, the thing that made me laugh, he said, oh yes, and that's why I stopped listening to her. That put me off. He'd only learned that term that day, I can assure you. He'd only learned what a map was that day. And he'd never said it before. And I've said it before. The only reason he fell out with me, but he didn't fall out with me, because I didn't even know who the hell he was because he was defending Ronan. No one calls Ronan and all this business. God knows what's going on there. I don't think even Ronan has an idea what's going on. But that's why he did it. But that was very defamatory, what he was saying. Because as I've explained, you can go on, see other podcasts who actually expose online predators. And they use that term, maps. You have to use it, or YouTube will start, the algorithm gets hold of you. So that was one. But then he stated that I'd been ostracized from the LGBTQI community. Actually, it's communities, Paul, not community. We're not just one community stuck somewhere. It's communities. There's lots of us, you know. There's lots of us. You'd be absolutely terrified if you knew how many of us there are. Anyway, he's going on that I've been ostracized because of this map thing. Total nonsense. Well, I got onto YouTube and I said, this is total defamatory. I said, and I could show them where I am respected in LGBTI communities. I showed them where I do use the word map because of the algorithms and all that. And the lawyers there agreed with me 100% and blocked his video. Now that's telling, because if he carries on with this documentary and says it and slanders in it, I'm going to pull him for it. No doubt about it, I'm going to pull him for it, because I'm not having no heterosexual cis dude bullying me. Those days are gone, people. Those days are gone. We're not here to be bullied and lied about and made out that we're dangerous to children and all this. It's just those days have gone, and people like Paul, people like Paddy, people like Tony, people like Uncle Bobby, I can go on, need to learn that. We're not going away. We've got as much right to be here in society and out and loud as you lot have. So just get used to it, darlings. Anyway, Bobby. Let's talk about Bobby. Uncle Bobby. Oh, Yorkshire's favourite outlook like man from up. That means I'm cute, don't it? No, I've said this about Uncle Bobby before. You just have to go to his face. Go round about October last year and see what Uncle Bobby was like. A vile, disgusting bully. Horrible. Jackson will know. Other people will know that have followed me for a while. The horrendous abuse he was involved in and all this. So he's now on. I noticed him quickly. I only saw for a minute. He appeared on Paddy's and it's like, oh, I'm criminologist. Now he's suddenly backing away from the criminologist. Good. But actually, the reason he got involved with the criminologist, because his mate who vanished when I first said who's going to produce the acros. And I named him Chris Hartley, and he vanished the day after. Honestly, he vanished the day after. Him and Uncle Bobby and Chris Hartley, I've gone and lost my train of thought now. They were using that channel to basically bully me. You can see it. Go to the first few videos. You can see it. It's not, he doesn't hide it. It was a bullying channel, and he says that to get at me. So anyway, they brought the criminologist on because Chris knew that the criminologist hated my guts. And what has it led to? A bag of trouble for them, which I could have told them, but I couldn't be bothered because I don't like Uncle Bobby. I know what he is. I can see the slimy little turncoat he is, that he keeps on trying to reinvent himself after he gets in. He does a Ronan. He tries to reinvent himself when he gets in trouble. So he's on there now. Oh, yeah, it can't call. I'll listen to the criminal. Oh, no. What he was doing, he was backing up the criminologist 100% because he wanted to use the criminologist to attack me. That's what it was. Now it's like it always did, and I've warned people and said to them, don't have anything to do with the criminologist because he brings nothing but trouble to your doorstep. Nothing but trouble. No one listened. Anne is right again. Anne is right again. Well, Carl McCormick did listen eventually. But Anne is right again. Right again. He brings nothing but trouble. Now Uncle Bobby is having to try and squirm out of it now. But is he a nice man? No, he isn't. He's not a nice man at all. Tin Man. Not Tin Man. Tin Man. Tony Baker. You better not have nicked us. You better not have nicked it, Tony. Tony has put a video up. It's got a little Tin Man. You know, from The Wizard of Oz, but it looks like the one from Return to Oz. The one that looks like the ones in the books. So I said, where's that from? Asked him. I said, where's the Tin Man from? I want one. And he said, I'll get you one. And I thought, I'm not having it. If it's been lifted, I'll pay for one. Thank you very much. So that's what he's going on about there. You better not lift it. I'm telling you now, I'll buy one myself. But what was I going to say? That yeah, Bobby. He's just squirming now and doing what he does, trying to wriggle out of it. So he wants to forget his past. But I've said before, that's for me to decide. And that's for victims to decide. And it stresses people when you get them. And it was vicious bullying I got from him. Vicious, horrendous bullying, him and that Chris fella. And others. And I said, they had the criminals. So when someone turns around and says about someone, which the criminal said about me, that he wants to dehumanize me, that's Nazi talk. That's what the Nazis did. Dehumanize people. That's what, I mean, wouldn't you know as an intelligent person, or if you like Bobby likes to claim he is now, oh, lads, you talk about love, empathy, care and community. Wouldn't you think, wait a minute, has he just turned around and said dehumanize? Isn't that what led people to the gas chambers? Dehumanizing them. Didn't care, did he? As long as I was being hazed on. And when he was talking to Carl McCorney, and Carl McCorney was having the row with the criminologist, Bobby was there trying to cover the criminologist. Oh, well, no, you know, it's acro. He hasn't, the stuff's up there. The stuff's about him's up there. You don't need to see his acro. And now he's turning around because he's realised he's been on the wrong side. God, honest to God, always give it time, people, and people start working it out. People start working it out. Anyway, what's this? It was Gary then Humble on Paddy's Life in Minsko. Is Humble on there? Well, he's getting on my nerves as well. I swear to God, you just have to sort of sit there and think, I can't. He's one person I can't really work out half the time what he's saying. And he's got, I don't know, all that I'm going to say is that look, I know what someone that's using sounds like, that's on the gear. And he sounds like you can tell when he is. But I just think, oh, I'm getting used to him now. Then he does something or says something, you think, what's he going on about? He's again, he thinks that, I don't know why people think I'm some kind of trilby, that people can control me and tell me what to do. But he thinks someone's whispering in my ears and he wants to find out who's whispering in my... No one... Jax was getting the blame for this. No one's whispering in my ears. So he's still going on about that. Then he says he got something. And I say, if I'm wrong, it's because I can't understand what he's going on about. And also, he's got that heavy Scottish accent, isn't he? And he moves. Look, if you've got a heavy accent, Scottish or anything that can be difficult to understand, don't, because it makes it worse to understand it. It makes it much harder to understand what you're saying. Anyway, he said that he got something sent, and I couldn't even work out what it was, on Instagram, and he thought I sent it to him. I think it was about Darren G. I don't even follow Humble on Instagram. I certainly don't follow Darren G on Instagram. I've only got my Instagram account. I don't have stock accounts. So there was that, and I thought, oh, he's off again. Then what did he do the other day? I thought, oh, you know, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. He turned around and said, with his slop, he's got a wet mouth, I think, doing a decker. Anyway, he turned around and he said, what else he said about me? Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? When I did that thing about the video about whether the criminologist had a legal case or claim against Humble Dryer, which he doesn't, because Humble Dryer tweeted out or posted a post that the criminologist doesn't want anyone to see, but the police won't take it down. So the police are saying that's got a right to be up there anyway by doing that. But what he said was, when he was talking about this, he thanked me for it. Then he said, but didn't Anne say that Decker shouldn't have to produce his acro? Liar, 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 liar. Someone please find once where I ever said that Decca didn't have to produce his acro. Liar. And that's now, I mean, I've tried and tried and tried with him. That's now I thought, right, I'm not even going to watch you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to take any notes of what the hell you're saying because I can't work out all the time what he's saying or not. And this snide remark he made, that you cheeky guess. When Tony was saying about, we all have to meet up with them and show our paperwork and all this, Humble turns round and says, it would be like, what was it, a Halloween bus ride or something. I didn't know Donna had been invited or asked. Did you ask Donna to come along and show her papers? Tony, cheeky guess. Halloween, cheeky guess. Someone as gorgeous as me? I don't think so. Anyway, let's see what's on here. I'm missing all these. Lovely. Grant, I think Paddy would love to get in my ring. He'd love us. The way he carries on. He's obsessed. You see, this is where I think he's looking. This is where I think it is with Paddy. He still likes to think he's a gangster, right? And every gangster has a beautiful, sexy mole on their arm. And, he's most probably thinking, whoa, if I could get Anne and parade Anne round, all the other his gangster friends would be so jealous, thinking, oh, what's he got that we haven't got, that he can get a hot babe like that? But I'm too far out of his price range, I am. I mean, come on, darling. A farm without an estate on it. He hasn't got the money. He hasn't got the funds to keep me in, keep me in the luxuries that I aspire to. So I'm sorry, I'll have to turn him down. But yeah, he's always mentioning me, isn't he? I'm not even going to say what he calls me. So, so I'm going to talk about him, but I'm going to look into more details about this argument about him and the sayers and all this. But he wants to stop this going on, making allegations against me about what happened in the police. That was what the criminologist put out there, twisted around and put out there. That's what he did. That interview with Sean Atwood, it was up there. It's been up there 2 years now, hasn't it? And it was the criminologist did that because he's a disgusting, vile bully. That's what he is. That's what he's famed for. That's what he's known for. He's a bully. And so they're all picking up on this now. Look, let's put this way. I'd rather be known for doing a dirty protest, which they're accusing me of having done, and Paddy is. I'd rather be known that than be known, or it going round about me, that I was found with indecent images of children on my laptop. I'd give me the dirty protest anytime. So if he keeps on with his nonsense. But as I say, he's made it that I just can't talk to him. Oh, no, that's not Gary. I'll say that. That is not Gary. And I tell you now, Gary was having a go at me, wasn't he? When he was that thing with the bad ex or whatever it was. You can tell it's not the same person. They talk it's completely different work they're doing. You can usually tell someone, it's like a thumbprint they have. You can tell who's who. That's why when Heather Turner was being called someone else and people were convinced she was, and I was thinking at one point, is she? Because it could sound similar. But they can sound similar, but the thing is, it's when I got talking to her, it became obvious they're not the same person because she couldn't keep up an act that long. She'd slip into this other person if she was that other person. She'd reveal herself she hasn't. And Doc's but secrets isn't suddenly going like Bad Ex used to be. Jax, would you start looking here and start blocking people, please, that are going on stupid? Because I'm having to block people here myself. Or ask me if I should block them. Let's put that way. Put them in timeout. Because there's a few on here that I've had to block already. Well, Paddy said if you're born before 1967, then you get a. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. Is he bragging about that? I tell you what, for a straight man, he doesn't have like going on about it. And I've said this before. This is what I said about the American podcaster. Why would, and come on, the straight cis men there, why would you want to constantly be putting it in your own head, an image of men getting it on together? Why would you? Why would you want to? That would be like me imagining all the time women getting it on. I don't want to see that in my head. So, that tells you a lot. No, they were enlightened in the 60s. Believe me, they were very enlightened about things. Let's see. Just catching up on the chat, people. Yeah, Gangster Small. Well, he'd love me as a small. But I'm just too expensive. Oh, I'm forgetting now if anyone wants to come in and have a little chat. Gordon Ronan as well. I won't label it, but my God, how many times has he gone out to make videos explaining himself and apologising for what he's done? All this, he's in a right not over this Nick Williams stuff, isn't he? I know what he said, the cheeky get, right? Turned around and said that he wouldn't allow, people being called maps on his channel. He won't have it. Funny, I've got all the evidence that he was letting Nick Williams say it about me. See what a liar he is? Got all the evidence there, but he was letting Nick Williams say that all about me. And also, he mentioned someone that he had to block because they were bullying someone. I'll tell you, I think it is. I've got a strong suspicion he means me. He blocked me because of this Kelly Davis one. And I've said it before. I saw her being all cooey to a trans woman that he was interviewing. Rona was interviewing. And I thought, oh, you two-faced. The things I had to put up from her when she was with the American podcaster, which now we know is a neo-Nazi, but then was just anti-LGBTQI. And the things she used to say about me and GME. So I let her have it. I just pointed out to everyone. I said, is this the real Kelly? I said, it's shocking to me because what I remember of the real Kelly, and I start saying is this. And so Ronan was standing by it, and he was backing up 100%. Nice to know, Ronan, that you support neo-Nazis. And this is what you've got to be careful of, right, people? It's like I noticed in Paddy's the other day, and it actually cautious sniped it. I've got it. He's getting all the American podcasts, neo-Nazis now, jumping on this. And that happened to Ronan. They all jumped on him. It happened to Drogyne Sparrow, but Drogyne Sparrow seems to have got it under control, even though they're still there. He more or less, there's some things you can go, but it's more or less under control there, I think. It's not on Ronan's, and on Paddy's, they're having a field day. But if Paddy wants to be labelled, that he's welcoming to neo-Nazis, that's up to him, and that's what happens. You've got to be careful who you let follow you and start talking on your podcast or your lives, because it can get you into trouble. Hey, what's this long one? I didn't, Simon. You're talking through your body hole, dear. I never called him for being friends with Wildman. What I was pointing out to him, right, is, darling, is that when he was doing, you're talking about the one, aren't you, where they were trying to brush the blame off for they were trying to distance themselves basically from Dekahegi after Jen had been the one, as far as I was concerned, and I showed it in a video, was encouraged him to talk the way he was. And she was giggling, and I thought it was funny. Then she's making out when there was a backlash. Oh, she was horrified and all this. No, what I pointed out to Sean, because he was doing the tut sticking on his sitting on his pedestal, was that actually his mate, Wildman, and we were talking about domestic violence. His mate, Wildman, was well into domestic violence, as was Wild Woman. It was like a fetish the both of them had, if you call it that. So that's what happened. So later on in a minute, Steve, just so that's what happened, Simon. It had nothing to do with that. If he wants to be Wildman's friend, that's fine, but he doesn't go then being a complete hypocrite and start going tut domestic violence. I'm shocked by it when he knew. You can see him in the podcast laughing. He's sitting right next to Wildman, and Wildman's telling these stories, and Sean's like, you know, I mean, work it out. Yeah, that's it. She did. Kelsey, she acted outrageous. I was fuming. Look, I don't care. I don't like Decca. I don't like other people, right? But when I hear someone talking absolute bull crap out of their mouth and trying to throw it onto him, they were trying to throw it right onto him. It's same. It was bringing back also what Sean did to me over Daddy Gate. He tried to make out that he was trying to bring down Predator. That's what he made it sound like. He denies that now, but he did say that. That's what he was saying. He tries to push the blame for his actions onto other people. Does that remind you of someone? I think that reminds me of someone. It really does remind me of someone. Can anyone guess who that reminds you of, pushing the blame onto other people for your own vile actions? Just think of someone. You know, it is what it is. Cow-knock. Shoes life. Not a day. God. Here we are, Steve, me and him. Oh, what have I done, Steve? Wait a minute. I'm doing something weird here. Add to stream. There we go. For some reason, you know. Oh, there you are. Sorry. I didn't know what I was doing then, Steve. I think Steve's having difficulty connecting. But what? Oh, yeah. They liked it. They liked it. They enjoyed domestic violence, but Wild Woman eventually starts getting worried because he could get really. It's like anything to do with domestic violence. It can go too far, way, way, way too far, and that's she starts worrying for her life. Are you, Steve?
I am, my dears.
So, how are you doing?
I'm sitting here trying to warm up. Yeah, I'm a little bit shook.
Oh, Steve,
Yeah.
your sound is terrible. Can't understand the way you're saying. It sounds like actually a guitar twanging. Almost
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe I should back off the call then. Maybe I'll chat with you tomorrow. Can we do a live chat tomorrow? Me and you.
You're all right now. You're all right now. Now it's gone okay, but it's just when you started, it sounded horrendous. I can hear you now perfectly.
I'm sorry if I'm intimidating or scaring anybody with my torch, but it's the only lighting I've got this time of day.
Oh, you'd have to do a lot to intimidate and scare my followers, I'm telling you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I've been, yeah. Other people have been threatening me and bullying for such a situation.
Do you know, I just had Simon, who is Craig Dunn? I don't know who you're talking about. What's happened? Darren Lafferty is not going to be happy. Oh, God, no. But he deserves it, Dark Boss. He deserves it. Look, I told you that man is trouble. He's trouble with a capital T, and everyone finds out sooner or later. He keeps on going about
I don't
the
know
devil.
either of them.
Oh, we're just
I don't know either.
We're just talking about someone that, you know, was getting very controversial. But has he ever not been controversial? Someone just mentioned him. But yeah, I was talking about Ronan's latest, you know, over
attack on me.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. He just won't take responsibility, will he? He won't take responsibility at all for. Well, he says he does. Go on.
I think he doesn't understand what bullying is. I think he's a victim of his own bubble, a bit like Nick, which is how they're able to click so well.
I think what it is, he thinks he's. To me, Ronan is the classic type. He doesn't learn. He thinks he knows it all. He thinks he's got it all sorted, and he keeps on making the same mistake after mistake, and he keeps on coming out with this rubbish. He doesn't read his comments. Well, someone's getting into his computer and loving the comments that are being made. That's very, very weird. So he just don't tell the truth. How you, sweetheart?
Hi, Anne. How are you doing? Sorry.
Oh, lovely cat. Oh, do you know what? I have a cat that comes round now and again, and for months and months and months, well over a year, it wouldn't let me go near it. It would run away. First time the other day, actually came right up to me, let it stroke it, came to the back door, and I thought it was looking in the house to say, come in. I gave it something to eat. I made a big mistake the other day. I went out to give it some food, and it was on the fence. And it was looking down at the food, and I thought, oh, I'll help it down. Big mistake. When I took it off the fence, it didn't like it. And now if I go near the fence when it's there, it jumps down. So I shouldn't have pulled it down the fence to give it the food.
She scratches my daughter all the time, and listen, I just wanted to come in, right, because I did try to get on Paddy's live before, you know, I won't lie and stuff. And, you know, people will say, oh, she's a journalist, she causes shit, she does whatever she's doing and everything. I don't really understand what they think a journalist looks like and stuff like that. But it's like, I wanted to ask them because I did a live earlier about maps and paedophiles and what have you and all that stuff. And what I saw from 4 days ago was Paul Ellis doing a video, not really knowing what he's really speaking about, and then MMA philosophy jumping onto that and saying something, which I completely get what you're saying. Why you're keeping your channel is to pronounce it in a different way, but I think the just, it's all about the views for them, and I don't see the point because it's turning into not only just a derogatory sort of claim, but to a point where it's bullying and stuff, and I'm sick of it. It's disgusting.
This is what it is. I said from day one, what happened was, Paul Ellis, he's a sneaky, and you know what? I can't stand sneaks. No one can ever say I go behind the back and say things. I say it right to the faces. And someone I can't stand at the moment because what she said to me, Angela Power Disney, she's another one. People used to come to me about Angela Power Disney and say, do you know what Angela said about you? Do you know what Angela said about you and all this? And I'd say, yeah, she tells me. She comes in my messages and tells me what she's thinking. But I can't stand people who go behind people's back and start slagging them off. And what he did was he turned around and I caught him saying to people, oh, don't talk to Anne and all this business. And I thought, you cheeky git. So he came on mine and I pulled him because he was defending his girlfriend, Ronan. And then suddenly I see him on Paddy's. I'll let you know again in a minute, Steve. However, next thing I see him, right, on Paddy's, and he says, now, do you remember how he makes out he's not part of this child protection team? He put on there that the next documentary he was going to do was about me, and he put CPT, so he was part of that team, and he said some skeletons in their closet. He's been talking to Uncle Bobby. That's what he's been doing. And Uncle Bobby is a snake in the grass again. And he's turning on the criminologist, but he was the one promoting and believing everything the criminologist was saying, and to attack me. So this whole documentary thing, that told me straight away, this is just a cover for bullying and intimidation.
Definitely.
And that's what he's been outed as. He's got no chance. He's destroyed himself. He'll blame me now that he'll never be taken seriously. It's not me that's done it. It's him. I never went for him. He went right for me, and I just.
I have to agree with you, Anne, because I got on there. I had some pot noodles. I just had a food delivery. I was doing a thing. Big Tony Burkett was like, she's on Wiz or something. He said something like that. It's all about bringing people down. It's not about bringing people up and stuff. And it's like, if they'd have had me on for a minute, I would have said, listen, what's your problem with Anya? What is your problem with Drogyne? What is the why have you suddenly why have you let MMA philosophy even come to this conclusion about maps that you don't really understand? You don't really understand why you've just come out there and said, if I don't want to why?
What is the gang member minded? I said this about Ellis, the gang minded. So is MMA. These not so much Paul Ellis, but MMA.
You don't mind if I drink, right?
No, I don't mind. He's a little boy in a male body. There's lots of them about, and a growing up male body. He's a little boy, and he's acting like he's a teenager. He's got to be in a gang, and it's like Team Paddy and all this.
I find him more of a comedian, Anne. I find him more of a comedian, really, to be honest. If he had anything on YouTube, I think it would be comedian based.
Oh, God, no. Take it from me. He's not. He thinks he's a comedian, but his acts are really rubbish. He's not all that funny. But what it is, it's like Team Paddy and all this rubbish that he goes on about. So he's just trying to join in. Paddy, and I'll say it, I don't care. I'm going to say it. It's true. He's not the brightest bulb in a box of,
tools.
Yeah, that's it. He's just not the brightest going. And he's a child in an old man's body. You can tell the way he goes on. So they're all like, he was going on, I'm in the shed with the lads, having fun with the lads. It's like, you're not a lad, you're an old man. You're an old man.
Listen, I saw that before, Anne. I was just like, and people were ringing them and going, this person brought down fighting trolls, right? I went, and this is not about me, right? But I'm just explaining, yeah. I went on to Fighting Trolls to speak about Decker Heggie, yeah, and he said, I don't want to speak about Decker Heggie on this channel, and I was like, all right, fair enough. And then, Uncle K got onto it, and they went, oh, she's a reporter, and this and that and everything. I edit social media. News outlets and stuff. It's nothing massive. I'm not I don't work for the Daily Mail or anything like that. It's just a local news outlet. And everybody went mental, and Carl McCorner did a video and but back to Paddy's live and stuff. I wanted to question these old boys, about why they're giving you shit for something which is nothing to do with anything, because their primary goal is something completely different. And it's like someone said in the chat before, maybe Paddy fancies you. Maybe he's got a bit of a crush going on. Who knows?
I think what it is, it's
completely different. And it's like someone said in the chat before, maybe Paddy fancies you. Maybe he's got a bit of a crush.
Joanne.
Can I speak? Can I speak, Anne?
Wait a minute, Joanne. stay silent. Look, wait a minute. Wait,
Yeah.
I'll just have to wait a minute. Wait. Joanne, I'm going to have to mute you for now because I'm getting feedback. Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Terrible
you've got
feedback.
2 windows open. Or
You've got
something.
2. You'll have to go and close your YouTube's window. You've got 2 open, and I'm hearing myself coming back. You coming back. You can't hear you. So close
Happens to the
that down.
best of us, mate.
I've done that before. You're open too.
I do it
And
all
you-
the time.
There we are. So speak again, Joe.
Hello, can you hear us?
Brilliant. That's it. Can hear you. loud
That
and
better,
clear
right?
now.
I've just
Yeah.
watched her, right? I was on Paddy Conroy's chat and I saw her gone into Paddy's private box and then she's come and ran back in here and started talking shite.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
to
I
me,
said I
she
would.
shouldn't be doing that.
No, Joe,
She
I
shouldn't be
said
doing that.
to Paddy. No, I said to Paddy, I will be going over to Anne right now after this. I will definitely be going and seeing what's what and stuff. But if you look at my live as well, what I said
What you going to both sides for? Why didn't you just keep your nose out?
because I find it wrong that like grown men.
Well, you know what I
should
find
do
wrong?
that.
The fact that you jumping to both sides of the fence. Just keep out of it. It's not your argument.
But I wanted to hear it from that side, and when I asked the question,
It's
and
not
he
your
answered
argument
the
to be
question.
in the
Joe,
first
listen,
place.
yeah, but if you listen to it, Paddy answered the
Is
question.
it your argument to be in the first place? I'm not sitting here getting involved in it. You know,
Right.
it's no one's business.
Well,
No one's business. You know, the more that jump on the bandwagon,
yeah,
you know
right,
what happens?
yeah.
You know
I'm
what happens? They just end up in a holy war.
If somebody's
That's
picking
what
on
happens.
Yeah,
somebody,
well,
Simple
Joanne.
as that.
Joanne, let her respond.
if somebody's picking on somebody unnecessarily, then I'm actually making it my business, yeah. And I'm going into somebody's chat, and I asked the question to Paddy, and Paddy from the behind the stage and everything, yeah. He answered the question, and he said he didn't have a problem with Anne. Yeah, so I got a bit of information there. He didn't have a problem with Anne, and he.
So therefore, you're going for information and you're running back to people and you
No,
shit
it's not
stirring. Can you
right,
see where
No.
I'm looking at you from?
Yeah, no,
Uh,
yeah, no, I wasn't.
You're running backwards and forwards, and there's no need for it. There's no need whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Just
No,
keep
I'm
out of it. Keep
Yeah,
out
but
of
I'm
it. You
not.
are, though. You
I don't-
are. I've
yeah,
just watched you do it.
Listen, yeah, listen, I went into Paddy's, I asked him the questions, he let me on, people started ringing and saying, oh, this person's a
Listen,
reporter.
I was sitting in Paddy's. I saw you come in. I saw you going on cam, going
Yeah.
on about pot noodles. I then saw that other one, whatever his name was, Honest Truth, sitting there going, Paddy, take your private, Paddy. Take your private. So
Yeah.
you private
And he
messaged
did.
him.
And he
Yeah,
answered the
you did.
question, Joanne.
And then you ran back in here and you told Anne about it.
He answered the question.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you ran back in here and you told Anne about it. So you're
have.
going between both sides of the fence.
No, I'm not. I won't be going over
You
to
are.
Paddy Conroy's.
You
No,
are.
I won't. I've come in. Listen, I've seen what's.
Did you tell Paddy? Did you tell Paddy it was none of your business? Your business? No, you never. No, you never. Have you tell Anne that? No, you haven't. You haven't.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, what is a lot of people are saying in the chat here that you were on Paddy's. I don't
I
know whether
was.
the accusation is that you're being two-faced, that you're coming
Yeah.
on here being nice to me
Yeah.
and you're being nice to Paddy. That's what
Yes.
people say.
Yeah, but
That's what's going on.
I didn't have the chance to be nice to Paddy, but I would be nice to
You
Paddy.
tried though. You tried.
But
I
I was kicked off, but I wasn't
I
given
watched you.
listen.
Ah, you were kicked off. You were
Joanne,
kicked off because
I know.
somebody went and told them that you were a reporter.
So
That's what
what
happened.
but isn't he a
Because I
reporter?
watched it.
Isn't he a reporter? Isn't everyone a fucking reporter, Joanne? Yeah.
I'm not really bothered anyway what you are, to be honest.
So
I didn't care less.
right. So
All
what's
I know is you're shit serving and you're on both sides of the fence and there's no need.
Oh, Joanne's gone. Well, the thing is, right.
Joanne's gone.
No, I mean, I know what she's saying,
I
right? Because
do.
what happens is, and this is what I get. I don't mind people, who are like sort of like neutral in it, and they're just trying to find out what's what. But
Yeah.
what you can happen what you can get happening, and I've seen it, and it drives me mad, and I've actually got rid of a few off my channel for this. They'll be sweet holding to me, sucking up to me, saying, "Oh, that's." Then they'll go right to the people that are slating me and coming out with the hate speech and sucking up to them. Now, to me, that's bad. If someone's just saying, "I want to find out information from that person and information from that person," and they're not sort of like creeping around them or agreeing with them, I can understand that. But I think what Joanne's saying, and I haven't seen what you said, what people say in the chats that they've got the impression that what you were doing was you were you were what I call sweet holding him, then coming on here and doing it to me. Okay. That's what they're saying, but I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
And that definitely wasn't the case, Anya. If I would have been allowed to carry on saying what I was saying, like you're allowing me to say what I'm saying to you, then it would have been a different story, right? But I was kicked off, and people were ringing, and they were saying, "Don't trust her." Somebody actually went.
Were you the one that Uncle K went ballistic about?
Yeah.
But why is he scared of a reporter?
Exactly, because everyone's a reporter, right? Everyone's a reporter all of a sudden on YouTube, yeah? But, you know, like, you report stuff, Paddy reports stuff, Big Tony Bearkit reports stuff, flipping Uncle K reports stuff. Everyone reports stuff, right? So that they interview people, right? And, like, do all that, like, business, yeah? But I'm a social media editor, reporter, stroke journalist, and that's it. But that's local news. I have a YouTube channel, yeah? If I can find out information why they are like bullying somebody or putting somebody in the line of like being, you know, this sort of person, then I can make a video about that, right? And I can make sure that it's
I think what it is that because of my background, I'm used to journalists and all that from a very young age. Now, we were always the rule of thumb I have with journalists. Don't want you to take offence at this.
No, I won't.
I've never. We were always brought up, be careful, never trust journalists, because simple fact is, no, I'm talking about the mainstream press and all that, networks. They're out to make money, and they don't care. They're out to make money. But as I always say, this is what I always say: if you don't want someone picking you up on something, don't say something that they can pick you up on. That's a simple thing. Don't do it weird. To me, what Paddy's doing, this is my whole point about Paddy and others, is that they're saying things that will destroy them.
Exactly.
That can be used actually to destroy
them.
And
this is what I wanted to ask the man. And this is like what Joanne like isn't getting, that I was kicked off, and like it just went completely mental again and stuff. And it's like, you know, it's just but I'm here on your chat, on your panel, because you're allowing me to speak and ask questions about things.
Yeah, that's because I say, if I didn't want you to know it, I wouldn't tell you. Story, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
But it's like this, Tony Bakers. I was talking to him the other day. So, you know, you have to have conversations going, but it doesn't mean that you like each other or you agree with each other, but you've got to have
conversations, not just video channels, not just like people shouting stuff, like, you know.
I mean, I could have. This is what gets me about Tony, right? If I didn't think he'd nick that, you know, Tin Man. If I didn't think he'd nick that, I'd say, get us one. You give me as a present.
Is that back on?
Yeah, you're back on, Joanne.
Right. So you're telling me, right? I've just sat and listening to you, right? You're telling me that you're going between both channels, trying to speak to somebody to make a video about someone. For what?
No, for what? I said if I wanted to, then I would.
For what? For what?
Because it's my YouTube channel.
Your duty for what? What are you trying to do?
to make sure that there's no like bullying or bollocks.
No
going
bullying.
on.
You're trolling people, man. You're trolling people. Can you not see what you're doing? Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
Every day, Joanne, I look in the mirror.
Well, you're not looking in the mirror, obviously. You can't be, because you're running around the chat thinking you're it on YouTube, thinking you're some sort of fucking editor. Sorry
Here we
for
are.
swearing, but that's what it is.
Joanne,
And you
just
think
let's-
you know it all,
Joanne,
and you did it.
Joanne, just
Yeah.
let's ask this as a question come through. Simon Dalgalicia's asked, ask her about Harlan and was she racist? I don't know. Harlan.
Yeah, it's a big thing that I'm racist on YouTube and stuff because a friend of mine like said a racist word, so I was like tarred with that brush. So, but what can you do, Anne? You can't like how can you explain like not being racist if you like it's like sitting next to somebody and like you know them like and trying to convince somebody you're not racist for half an hour. By the time you've tried to convince them that you're not racist, you're bored, aren't you? Right?
Oh, I would say, funny enough, I was accused of being racist by the American podcaster, and he was the one that was using the N-word, and he's not black. And it's like, how does that work out? I've never heard of
Exactly, Anne.
what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say, Joanne, is I don't know the situation. I don't know what's going on. So
I watched her try and be friends with them, and then she came on this side and she tried to be friends with you.
I wasn't
Same
trying to be friends with anybody, Joanne. I was
Listen,
asking a simple question.
you were there for one reason, to gain information so you could make your bloody video. Simple as that.
No, it wasn't
Simple as that. And you've
What-
admitted it, and it came
wasn't.
out of your own lips. And your actions speak louder than words, Chuck.
But
All
Joanne-
right.
Okay?
Joanne, can I ask something? What if she does do a video right about both sides? I mean,
Well, I disagree with the whole thing. Like I've always said, I disagree with all of it.
but sometimes
The whole lot of it stinks.
the way I see it, you know, when you're on YouTube, there's certain things you've got to say. It's like when you're in the entertainment industry, you're putting yourself out there. I put myself out there. Paddy's putting himself out there. We're all putting ourselves out there. And the biggest case to anyone who wants to be, let's say, in the entertainment or whatever, or on social media, the worst thing that can ever happen is that you're never mentioned. Because if you're never mentioned, you're not doing it. Now, if someone comes along,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Right, when you open the Daily Mirror, do you believe it? Or the Daily Mail? Or the Daily Express? Do you believe
Oh,
everything
no.
that's printed?
Read it.
no.
No.
I know what you're
So
saying.
therefore, what she's doing is incorrect.
No.
Incorrect. I don't care what she says. Making videos about people, that's not true. She hasn't got any facts or nothing.
But that's what I'm trying to find out, Joanne. That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out whether these men are just like chatting absolute bollocks, yeah, which it seems that they are. They're saying that Anne is something that she isn't, yeah. And as a subscriber to Anne as well, I feel that they're to a point bullying somebody for all the wrong reasons. And when I asked Paddy the question backstage, which he answered, if you watch the video, he said that they used to get on really well and stuff. So it formed a little bit of a like allegiance to that. And
We did. Did
he
you say
did-
we
he
got
did- he
on?
did say that, Anne. He said, you know, you got on at one point.
No, I never knew. I've never known. All that happened was, this is it. He made a few comments, but as I say, I never got into any conversations with him. And Steve, what happened was I saw Steve going on to The Honest Truth after talking to Decca, and I thought, wait a minute. And this is how little I knew about Steve, Paddy, and all of them. And I said, wait a minute, why has he gone on there? And so I said, I did a video and said, is he trying to stir it up for Paddy and because The Honest Truth were talking to Paddy at that time.
Yeah.
Looks like Uncle Bobby is talking again. Well, Steve said to me, he said, look, if you want to talk, I'll talk to you. So I said, well, come on alive. I didn't know who the hell any of them were. So he came, I knew Steve had something to do with football and all that. So, and I had this book thing. business. But next thing, I spoke to him, didn't hear from Paddy. And then Paddy was putting the odd little comments in the comments, but he never once said to me, I'll come on your show or anything like that. But as I say, I've got to be, you know what I'm like when people start cursing or anything like that. I don't like it. I find it so disrespectful. I don't mind the odd one. You know, some people will, I've done it, a curse word slips out. But when it's every single sentence there's a curse word in it and they use really vile, harsh words, I can't handle anyone like that. And I don't think I'd be able to control Paddy and say, now, don't you dare say this. Plus, it wasn't I wasn't interested in it. I'm not really interested in it now, but he's got me interested in it. You know that way when someone actually puts themselves in your life.
Yeah.
And then...
This is what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of like posts which you've like put up, which is like, you know, defending yourself from 3 men who are putting it on you, kind of thing. And it's like, but what they're putting onto you, they won't answer the questions because they're kicked off, and people are ringing up and they're going, oh no, don't listen to Visual because he's a reporter and stuff. So they won't do that. So they'll carry on the narrative, if you like, of that stuff.
At the end of the day, right, I grew up, I say, around journalists, know the system, know everything.
Yeah.
To me, if you say something defamatory, I can say, right, what's she got in the house that I can have? And that's it. And I think bank balance. That's the way I look upon it. But as long as someone doesn't say it defamatory, but I think sometimes you need people discussing things, you do. Because if they don't discuss it, you see, what usually happens is that you usually get a bitch job done. In other words, someone on social media calls themselves like a journalist. Oh, that's what Ellis was called himself, wasn't it? I'm an investigatory journalist. Oh, now I'm sorry, investigatory journalist. It's as bad as a certain person saying he's a criminologist when he's never been a day's work as a criminologist. But that is not.
You've got to have a degree, right?
That's it. They don't realise that journalism is actually. It's not easy. Like being a documentary documentary maker isn't easy. And as Paul has found out very early on, he's been pulled now for defamation. So he doesn't know what it is to be a journalist because journalists are told, don't do this, and it just clarify this for me because this gets on my nerves. People think if they say allegedly all the time, that it's going to cover them against defamation. It doesn't. If you keep on saying allegedly this, allegedly that, it's a blatant out scandal that you're putting out there. You can say it's allegedly as many times as you want.
I'm waiting for a scandal, Anne. I'm waiting for someone to take me to court, but only joking. But the thing is, you're right. You know, there's a lot of like YouTubers which are putting themselves out there as like, you know, reporters, journalists, and interviewers. It's a different thing, right? But like, you know, you've got to have like a certificate, right? Say you're a journalist. So if you have got a certificate as a journalist, then you can put stuff out there as public interest. So you can actually do that. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I'll just ask this, Jimmy, then I'll go on to remind me that I want to ask you about social journalism because I'll say something in a minute. Andrea, ask, why does she want to know? This is you. Is she going to write about this in a newspaper? Will she write about you, Anne?
Well, definitely not a newspaper because they're outdated, right? But like online media isn't outdated. So YouTube, like Facebook, Instagram. Listen, my news is local news. Yeah, my YouTube channel is YouTube news. Yeah, so there could be Anya, but what I'd like to see before that even happened is for these boys to like just leave it alone and just stop it before it like goes too far because it's just made up bollocks. Yeah.
Well, I think what is it's going to carry on going and it will carry on going and both sides basically are. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to sit here and say,
I
"Oh,
know.
I don't comment on it." Of course, I do comment on it. You know, it's total nonsense. I'm not commenting on it. But what I do, and this is it, because of my history, I look at it all very, very different from other people do. I've seen real big, massive controversies kicking off before there was ever an internet and like that. I remember the first big, huge controversy, and I was only a little toddler at the time. I seen kicking off was over HR Puff and stuff in America at the show.
Over what?
HR Puff and stuff. Oh, you won't remember that. You won't remember that. You have to be an old sod like me. But I knew because my papa knew people who worked on the show, Marcy Croft. And anyway, it was a huge success in America, this show. This is the first scandal I ever heard of. And it was a massive witchy poo and all that. That's where you get witchy poo from. And Jack Wilde was in it. It was just 1969, 70, so it's a long time ago. But anyway, this thing came out that it was the reference in it had references to drugs. Yeah, it was a kids show, HR Puff and stuff. People were saying what it meant was hand rolled puff and stuff, hand rolled. And in one of the episodes, if I remember, it was called Witchy Potato Round says, "Let's chase the dragon," which they took that as a drug reference. And another one was called The Horse with the Golden Throat. And that was another one they said was a drug reference. So I remember that kicking off. Oh my God, we've got a children's show on here and it's making references to drugs all the time.
Your stories like are amazing and all that, and I think I just think it has to stop that negative shit, mate. I just think it just like has to finish. I love listening. You're never gonna not be here on YouTube, yeah. And the thing is, you know, it's like dead difficult for like, you know, people who are like women and like, you know, different things and stuff, do you know what I mean, to just like, you know, do stuff and that, and they don't like it. People don't like it, and to like target somebody in that way, I had to step in a little bit, like on my live that I did before, and like maybe Joanne doesn't like it, maybe, you know, people don't like it, and maybe the lads don't like me, like, because they won't have me on the channels and stuff, and maybe a lot of people won't have me on the channels and stuff. But it's about time people need just get a sense of like, you know, reality, and realize, you know, what people are actually saying, and stop going with the drama.
I think what it is, it's what happened with me early on was that I came on and it was basically to campaign for our awareness of what it is to be intersex and all this. That was the plan. And then it all sort of blew up into mayhem. And I think the first one was me falling, or James English falling out with me. That was the first time it sort of got.
It was like, a good fallout, right?
Oh, he fell out with me. We fell out. We got back in, then we fell out again. He's always falling out with me. But anyway, and yeah, I really think he's a very talented man, James English, extremely talented. But it sort of went from one job. But what I am, I don't know, and I really don't know. This is a reflection of the autism with me. I have always been accused that basically on some subjects it's black or white. There's no grey area with me, and so there's no leeway, and that can bring drama because people feel like you're condemning them out, but you do. I do condemn people. I don't deny it. I do condemn some people. Depends what they're doing. But here we are. Okay, Joanne, I want to come on again. But yeah, it's so it can be very. I don't know. I just seem to go at people. Next thing they come at me, when they do come at me, it gets very personal. they don't keep it as being about the issue. They start slagging me off for how I was born. Now that's where I draw the line. I thought, no, don't bring that into it. Don't bring it into it the way I was born. And that's where. So that's why it looks drama, because I'll have a go at them. I won't sit there and go, oh, let's ignore it. I'll show them. I'll say, actually, I know how to stand up. I do.
You like the mum I never had, Anne.
Yeah. Oh God, Steve, what have you got on, Steve? What have you got on? You look like you're in Star Wars. You're on Tatooine. You're in anything goes den, aren't you? Jabba the Hutt's den. That's what I like about Steve. He's his own style, isn't he?
Where is he? I can't see him.
He's at the bottom there.
It's one of these.
I can see him, I can't see him.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm
I
told
know.
it came from Tunisia, and I got it. I bought it from an Italian man who claims that he brought it from Tunisia all the way to Beneficio.
It looks
I normally wear my black. I normally wear my black jalapa from Morocco.
Lovely.
Oh, what's this about a court case? Ask her about the court case.
But listen, they think my children have been removed from me, and I have to go to court.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not for this channel, is it?
No, definitely not.
Like, so you're drinking cans, right? You're drinking cans, and you're sitting there pissed, telling people on YouTube that you're here to make videos of people and sling them out onto the net, into the public eye about people when you don't know facts about people. Is that what you're saying?
Joanne, what has she done that you've seen that's been?
She said. She went from Paddy's channel to your channel, and I watched it with my own eyes. And then she sat here and she's telling you a whole bunch of lies, saying that she never, and that's not the case. She was in his private box. I saw it.
I know you were saying, but
I saw it. And then she had the audacity to call me a liar.
I didn't call you a liar, Joanne.
You did call it a liar. Basically, you turned around and said that it was untrue.
I didn't say that.
No,
You
she
did.
didn't.
And you
She
said
didn't.
you were here to make videos.
Joanne,
How about
wait.
if I ring the fucking Daily Mirror about you?
Joanne,
Huh?
wait.
We've
Joanne,
all got digital media skills, love.
Joanne, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. You're getting very vocal about
I'm
this.
pissed off with that because of the way she went on.
She never said you were a liar. I was listening to the whole conversation. She never once said you were a liar. She said she's been a liar.
And I'm
Yeah,
a liar. I'm white. I'm white with a black heart.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused now.
My true friends think I'm black. My true friends think I'm black. They see the black in me. They don't see the white in me.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen it. Well, anyway, Joanne.
Family.
Anyway, wait a minute. This is going bizarre now. I'm going to have to say, right, let's keep on one subject. I'm talking to Joanne just at the moment, Steve.
Yeah.
Because it's gone way off subject at the moment. So, Joanne, what have you seen that's been done that's not just, I'm not talking about the Paddies going in Paddies. What's been done in the past that's been really bad, or she's written that's been bad?
Well, I think she's running about the net, gaining information. And it's not even true information, it's not facts.
No, but am I buggering this up, am I? I'm going to talk to you in the daytime. I'm sorry, I have to leave. This reception's terrible. I have to talk to you in the daytime.
Okay, Steve. Okay, mate.
And then she's going to make videos on it and like claim it's right. You know, like people wonder what.
I might make a video.
Yeah, might. Well, guaranteed, right? If you make a video, I'll make a video on you, and I'll tell people like you in both boxes, shit serving, and you don't even know the facts.
Okay.
You haven't got the facts.
Yeah. All right then.
But maybe she's on here trying to get the facts. I'd say that she did.
How can you get facts on YouTube?
Well, she asked.
Talk to people, right?
This is the thing. Look, let's put this way, Joanne, and I am really pleased that you're concerned about me. Don't think I'm not thankful. I'm very, very thankful. But if something that said derogatory, I'll have an answer for it, and then we'll have another war, and it will be me and hearing the. I don't know your name, and this is it. What name do you use? No, not you, Joanne.
Yeah, official.
Official.
Yeah.
Now, official says something. Believe me, I'll go back at it. I'll go back, and that's what will happen. So I will have me say. But I do appreciate what you're saying. Don't think I'm saying no. I'm not listening. I know what you're saying. Believe me.
Just jumping both sides of the fence. That's what she's doing. I saw it.
And appreciate what you're saying. But I will be able to. If it kicks off, or I can handle it, I can. But James has just put something on here, and me and my 9-year-old autistic son, along with Paddy, recently come together, and £100 was donated to Scottish Autism on behalf of Paddy. Tough, right? I'm sorry. That doesn't make him a nice person. Is he doing that because of your son, or is he doing that for himself? Look, again, I'll talk about the entertainment industry. When you see all these stars doing the events, right, and they're doing these big charity events, why do you think there's cameras there? Why do you think they've got all this publicity? It's twofold. In other words, they're bringing attention to the charity, and I don't see where Paddy is going to bring a lot of attention to a charity. But it's also, what did Paddy do? The minute he was asked for his Sarah's Law right, what did he do? He posted a picture of him doing one of his patents, and then we're getting all about autistic kids and all this. In other words, he did it for himself. He did it for himself. It's the biggest thing in the book. And if you've got £100, good on him for getting £100. But, get in perspective.
I will say this about Paddy Conroy in the North East. He's done a lot for people in communities.
Yeah, but
regardless of what he's done criminally wise, he's done a lot in the communities for people.
But But Joanne, you can't say regardless of criminalising. This is where I take exception, right? These people that have ruined people's lives, and I heard him the other day talking about a horrific incident with a chainsaw, right? And he was laughing about it. And Paul Ellis said, "Oh, well, you didn't hate him." Didn't hate him. That could cause post-traumatic stress for the rest of his life, right? It could damage someone for the rest of the life. And then it's like, oh, look, I'm a charitable person. But when you watch him and the things he's saying on the show, he's anything but being charitable and a nice person. You've got to understand, are people doing these charitable acts for the charity, or are they doing it for themselves, for their own? And I don't see why someone who did such things, and I'm not just talking about Paddy, I'm talking about anyone. I'm talking about the Sayers. I'm talking about anyone that was in that kind of business, right? Dan G, the lot. As far as I see it, they're not reformed. You can tell by the way they're not reformed. And I can't see what the hell is going on, that's the people that they're going to act as some kind of ambassador or someone to be holding them up as an icon. I can't see it. If you're going to have an icon of someone that really is a good person and really has turned the life around and really has made. I mean, look, there are people that are, but they're very few far between that have actually reformed themselves. They've been very bad people. They're the people you go for. But half the time, and I'm sorry to say this, when people go on about charities and all that, it's not their pocket they're digging into, is it? It's the getting the public to do it.
You know what I see? I've never sat there and said my opinion, right? But I've been watching it all unfold. I've been watching one side slag the other side off, the other side slag that one off, and all I'm seeing Paddy doing right now is defending himself. He's defending himself against them because them are trying to slag him off with papers. That's what I see. And then the other ones are jumping in, then everybody else is jumping in, they're all getting on the fucking bandwagon, and then all of a sudden it's gone hairy leather and everybody doesn't know what they're digging. And then you get the likes of her with the gigs on, sitting there going, she's going to make videos of it.
But do you know what he said? Do you know what Paddy said before on his same live stream? What Tony said to him, and Paddy was agreeing with. Tony said all this controversy gets the figures up on the channel. And he said, "Oh yeah, it does. So he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it. Look, the way
big Tony Burkett's fucking like loving it.
the thing is that this is it. The only when you're not being spoken about, that's when you've got to worry. Anyone will tell you that because you're not important. Then you're not news. You're not saying it. And that's look. What's that saying? I can't remember it. When
they're talking about you,
you're doing something right, isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah. When,
You know, if you've got an argument,
when they're talking about you, they're leaving somebody else alone, right?
Look at what's happened to Decca Heggie. You couldn't get more hate and controversial than him at the moment. And yeah, he's making a mint out of it. A mint. And he's keeping it going himself.
Right. Do you know if you've got an argument with Paddy?
And he's a dirty bastard.
You should go to him and sort it out, or Paddy should come to you and sort it out, and it should be like that.
But
you know what I mean? Rather than everybody else going, this, and this.
But
that's what goes on.
This is it. The thing is, though, Joanne, right? Paddy, all that I said, this is all I turned around and said, because he was going on and mouthing off, and he was going on about this child protection thing. I think it's quite a straightforward question. When you've got to have checks if you're getting involved in anything to do with children or vulnerable people. That's all I said. And then I can't even remember what he said. But he said he was doing on this hate speech, this horrible hate speech again.
Nobody's kid should be brought into it, right? And I will say that in front of Paddy. No one's kid should be brought into it. No one's kids should be on YouTube.
Whose kids?
Anybody.
Who's talking about kids?
Regardless of, like, any kids, you know, when there's kids talk and shit like that, it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe.
None of us. You've got it all wrong, Joanne Rice. We're talking about they're going round claiming to be a child protection team, so they'll be coming into contact. And this is what Paddy said, and he denied. I don't know whether he denies it, but Tony Ellis was denying it, right? Paddy came on my live. Came onto my live, and he put a message on towards the end saying, "Oh, Tony's got loads of 13-year-old kids coming forward. This is about Decca." And I said, he can't do that. He can't. And I'm not just going on about Tony, I'm going on about anyone that hasn't had checks, can't have vulnerable children coming to them. In other words, making allegations against Decca. Well, I said, right, you know, I'll have to report this to the police because this has got to be checked out. I think what it was that Paddy was making it up. That's what it was. He was telling a porky pie because Ellis came on and he said, no, he isn't interviewing anyone. I think Paddy was just trying to cause a commotion. That's what it was. And that's all that it ended up being. But that's what we're talking about children for, because if they're going to do that, and I mean anyone that's getting involved with children or domestic violence or anything like that, they have to be checked out. And that's the children we're talking about. We're not talking about each other's children. Well, I haven't got children, but I'm not talking about his children. And I agree with you. Children are out of bounds, as are parents, as are other people. If you've got an argument with someone, once you go on to parents or you go on to children, that's when you've just gone so low. Yeah, and shall I tell you something, right? Uncle Bobby, lovely Uncle Bobby, who's everyone's favourite. Do you know what? The very first time I noticed him was on the American Podcasters channel when it's all hate against me. And Heather and a gay podcaster. Right, he turned around and said, and I was fuming. He said, "Oh, you know, Weezy." And he was talking about Chuck. And Chuck weren't brought up proper, but our parents, they weren't brought up proper like we were. And I was fuming. I thought, don't you dare start dissing my parents. The Italian came out to me. The Italian side of me started coming out and said, don't diss my parents at all. So anyway, that's what he did. But I agree with you 100%, Joanne. You don't go after people's kids, but we're not going after each other's kids or kids. All that it was this check. And all that has happened is that Paddy has gone like he's making, and I hate this, no, he'll do it, but I've got to give him this, I've got to give him that. Sorry, no, there's no deals there. I don't know. Could you imagine if you had a social worker or someone was applying to be a social worker and you turn around and you said, right, we need to do the checks. Oh, well, I'll only let you do my checks if you give me this, that, and the other. They'd be told to do one, wouldn't they? Straight away, go and do one.
Yeah.
You don't go making conditions or codicils in it. You do it. That's the end of the day. And you say, here we are, this is it. And you shouldn't have people, I don't care what they say, you shouldn't have people who aren't trained in child protection doing that, because we've seen how they've kicked off. Tony Bakes has kicked off, Dingo's kicked off, Paddy's kicked off. I don't want that around vulnerable people, and that's why. And it's not saying that they're predators or anything like that. It's not saying that. It's saying you need the checks done just to make it 100%.
Even social workers, you know, they bend the rules, they do what they're doing, they make people's lives misery, they take children off people for, like, you know, ridiculous things.
Let's get this one right, Northern King, right? I haven't put you in timeout, but I did say you have been put in timeout for a good reason. And I'm surprised you're here, because didn't I block your other account? Your major account?
I'm surprised.
I think I did, didn't I? So if you say it that's outrageous, you'll be getting more than timed out. But my mods, my precious mods, Paris. And Paris, I can't find you on Facebook or anywhere or Twitter. Try and get in contact with me, because I'll come on your live stream sometime and talk. But yeah, so that's why. Yeah, cheers. I'll give you a cheers. Some of the things you said in your major accounts. Do you know, I hate this. This box jumps up. It absolutely drives me mad. Notice you wouldn't. Paddy will know. Yeah, so I see what Joanne's saying, and I do really appreciate what Joanne's saying. I do, because I can see she's concerned, and I fully understand her point of view. I really, really do understand her point of view. But I'll just ask you for a straightener. You say anything bad about me, I'll because this is it, isn't it? It's straighteners everywhere now. Oh yeah, let's talk about straighteners. Now let's talk about the straightener between Fighting Trolls and Video Craig. Ooh.
I'm not too sure about Video Craig.
Oh, I reckon, right. Well, actually, the two of them have begged me to be there. You know that sexy little number that goes around?
Yeah.
Well, they said, look, we can't find anyone sexy enough. So both of them have asked me to do that. So I've got my micro bikini ready. I hope it's not too cold. So a little tip up, fellas, you'll be getting an eye full when they do that. So who do you think's going to smash who? Go on. Who's going to smash who? Go on. Is it going to be?
Is it happening? Is it actually happening?
Of course it is. It's on. Right. Of course it is.
Probably Video Craig.
Why'd you say that?
Because he's a punk rocker, right?
I don't. Well, you know what I get right about Video Craig? I mean, what punk rocker with any self-respect gets that light treatment on the teeth to whiten them? I mean, it just doesn't happen. The more manky your teeth are, the more punk rocky you are, isn't it? The more smelly your jeans are, the more punk rocky you are. Punk rocks are what they used to be.
Oh, he's that guy. He's that fella from the north. Is he called Rob or something? Rob Summit. What's he called? He's got a YouTube channel. He's got like, what's he called? He's got like skinhead, and he looks a bit like me. I don't know what's he called.
Oh, I don't know. Is anyone in there? Hey, well, AJ, you know all these people gossiping and making up their own narrative. It's all about the narrative. Ain't got a clue. What is this narrative everyone's going on? I know people do make up narratives.
I hate that word. Like, narrative is a different thing. It's like when you go to a school play and stuff and you have a narrator and a narrative, right?
Yeah, that's it. And the other one that this Paddy says this, isn't it? What's the one he says all the time? And I don't think he really knows what it means. Due diligence. It's like a buzzword, isn't it? Due diligence. He's read it in a dictionary. Due diligence. I remember the American podcaster, what did he used to say? And you think you've read that in a dictionary and think it sounds cool. Well, exquisite. I thought he thinks exquisite because the way it's spelt is something, really posh to say. Exquisite.
Exquisite.
It's better than awesome all the time. I'll give you that. It's better than awesome. Here, I'll put the link in, see if anyone wants to jump in. So it's all very much, up in the air, isn't it? And all going on.
It is, man. And I wanted to jump in, right? Because I did the live about the maps and everything. And I'm looking into councils and everything because they are working with like lots of like maps, it seems, and they with like non-governance like stuff, and like they're giving them a bung and they're putting them in hotels around the northwest where it seems at the minute and stuff. So I did that on like I'm doing that anyway, and I put your name in it, and I put these fellas in there because they've changed the narrative to what they want it to be and stuff, and their original narrative was to like get Decker Heggie fucked off of YouTube and like have you. So I don't really see where they are coming up. The names that they're saying are derogatory anyway, and I don't like it. I hate it. And the like thumbnails that they're using, I don't like. So if I don't like it, I'm gonna go and question them, and I'm gonna go and ask them, right? Because that's what I'm like. And if I don't like something, then I'm gonna go and do that. And if I do make a video, I get that you would like bring that back to me and say she's wrong or she's right or she's this or she's that and stuff, and I get that, and I like your stuff. I like what you know. Sometimes I sit there on a Saturday night and I listen to like Swan Lake and like all that and everything, and it reminds me of stuff, and I like your channel, and I don't like their channel, and I don't like what they're doing, and I don't like what they're saying, and I think someone has to say something, right?
This is the way I look upon the situation. They've gone on to this, and I've seen it happen. It's happened so many times to me. They go on to this getting very, very, very personal. Sometimes I can take it when Tony Baker kicks off and goes on. Yeah, I feel like saying you cheeky get some things that he goes below the belt with, but at the same time I say to myself, that's him. But at the same time, I say this is why it gets worrying about the CPT thing. You don't want someone blowing the top like that. You just don't need it going on like that.
No, you don't.
But with regard to all this going on YouTube and all the hate and all that, that's where I come forward, and that's what I said to Paddy. I said, carry on with the hate speech, and I'm going to have to take action. Look, you can call me, and I've always said this, you can call me a horrible person, you can call me all that kind of thing, nasty, stare, all sorts, but don't get personal about the ways. And the reason I get like that isn't because of me. It's because I know that I had to keep this a secret for 50 years. 50 years. Living a lie, saying that I was a gay man, because I was more or less told you'll be treated as a freak and all this business, keep it yourself. And I did have a taste of that when it came out in Ireland when I was a teenager. But I've been treated like a freak. So I used to say that. And then when I used to wear the makeup or whatever, they started presuming that I was transgender, and people still think I'm transgender. So let them think it. Then I thought, I'm getting old now. Why should children? Why should children be still coming into this world and having to have it, which is happening? It's still hidden. And the way you say LGBTQI, this is so telling. They always say, what's the I stand for? No one knows. And when you tell them to go, oh, and they don't know what insects is. And they say it's the invisible. It stands for invisible now. So that when I see people going on at me for that, I'm not thinking of myself. I'm thinking of these children that are coming into the world, that their life is going to be like mine, an embarrassing secret.
Yeah.
And it's nothing you've done, a horrible, embarrassing secret. And that's why I kick off. It gets on my nerves.
We're the beautiful freaks, yeah?
Well, that's, you know, it just, oh, someone came on then ran away. But yeah, it's just, it's horrible. And I say, would they go round and start slagging off, let's say someone, no, they would actually, they would, I dare say, a lot of them, someone with Down syndrome or something like that. And the same people are going on about autism and all this. It's like, but you're skipping me who was born this way. I can't help it no more than, and I have got high function autism.
And we was all born different, right? We was all born different. Nobody knows how we was born, but we was all definitely born different. We're all individuals, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. It's and that's what annoys me. That's why I go at them. I think no, and that's why I said to Paddy, you can call me what you want, but and he gets to, it's some of the things he was saying which was a bit too much for me. Really horrible.
And for me, Anne, as well. And that's why I wanted to go on there before. And it wasn't about flip-flopping about. It was about going on there. And I was always going to come on here, but I wanted to go on there and I wanted to speak to him. And I'm going to go, right, because I'm going to go to the offer, yeah, because it's Saturday night and I'm going to go and have a drink. It's been absolutely blinding. And
don't forget, I'll be having your house if you say it and I don't lie. Just let's tell you that. Okay, Fiscal. So see you again.
Bye. See you later, man. Take care. Bye. Take care. Bye. Take it easy.
Hi, Caroline. How are you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. It's still high drama, isn't it? Just have to put up with it. You see, you
don't have to put up with it.
But you see this, Carol, you know, as I say, these people bringing drama to my door. I just sit here, you know, I never say anything bad about anyone. I'd never have a wrong word about anyone, and they bring all this drama to my door. It's terrible. It is. It's terrible. But no one is. It's, you know, it goes on. I've been through it that many times. This is going to blow over eventually. It will happen then, fizzle out. So how's the weather your side of the world?
Oh, it's still cold. Like, all right, let me translate from Fahrenheit to centigrade. It's probably about 12 centigrade. I don't see the sun. It's awful.
So you have to get you one of those special bulbs.
I know. I'm like, hello, spring, where are you? Like, you can see the trees are starting to
oh, do you know what I want to say? You've just reminded me. There's a thing called the Triangle not far from me, like a big walkway that cyclists and walkers go on. And in one part of it, they have green parrots, little green parrots like that. Now, Britain is not a place where parrots live naturally. We just don't have them. But these must have escaped and started mating. But they've been there for years. But I was out in the back garden and I thought, I can hear one of those parrots because they got a different distinctive call. And I looked up and there's one of the little green parrots. And I thought, oh, they're going to start moving into our because there's a big back field on the back of our gardens. And so I'm hoping we've got the parrots now moving in here because they used to never come this far. Oh, they're gorgeous. But they can be noises, little swine, so when they get going. Little bright green, that big with orange beaks. They're lovely, they are. So we used to have owls, but they've gone. Because one of the neighbours, and I went mad, there used to be thistles and everything growing. We had hedgehogs and everything. And I said, don't go complain about the thistles because the wildlife is in there. But we had rats as well. And as I say, as long as rats don't get in your house, they're no problem. They're more scared of you than what you are of them. But no, she insists having it done. So, of course, the population went down and everything. The owls went. The feral cats went. And now she's talking about she doesn't want the trees. And I've said no. I said, I'll get right onto the council and have hell if you try to get those trees cut down. Because she's not getting rid of the birds as well. But yeah, I just thought to mention that. You reminded me of that. So what do you think for all this drama that's been happening?
I don't know. It's hard to keep up with. It's I don't know why they're zooming in on you.
I think it's because I more or less, and it was just off the cuff. I say in the chat, I was on Paddy's and I seen Mouthy, Paul Ellis, mouthing off about me again and called me it. So don't do that, don't do that. So I challenged him. I said, come on. That's all I said. Come on to my live. I said, instead of gobbing off here. See, he gobs off, but he won't actually come on the live. So I said, instead of gobbing off like that. So Tony was the one that that was coming back at me. And of course, Ellis ran away, which he always does. So I got into it with Tony. And Tony was making snide remarks about this station thing and all that. So I said, and it was more or less aimed at Ellis, not at Tony, because I wasn't thinking of Tony at the moment. I was just fuming with Ellis. I said about get your checks done if you're dealing with children and all this business. And then Tony just kicked off and it went mad. And it went from there and people were asking, well, why is Tony acting like that? And Ellis, all that Ellis is doing basically is doing what he does best. He runs away and then tries to make out he hasn't started it. He was the one that started all this. He was the one that said he was going to make a documentary made it sound like I was a danger to children. So how am I causing this? How am I causing it?
Do they even have they been to film school? Do they have a degree in journalism? No. So they just call themselves citizen journalists.
Oh, no. What? Oh, excuse me when I have a titter. No, Ellis is actually calls himself an investigatory journalist. An investigatory journalist. And he's absolutely rubbish at it. And of course, he's got a legal team, Uncle Bobby, who for some reason thinks if he says Drogyne, the owner of the channel Drogyne, that somehow that will negate it. He seems it doesn't. People know who he's talking about. They know who he's talking about, so you can't do that. And also, it's used as a professional name, so he can't do anything about it. But that's how it all kicked off. But I get the blame. Oh, Anne Stern again. No, I was responding to what he said. And you usually find I'm always responding to what someone said or done, and then I get the blame for it.
Well, I went down the rabbit hole and went to the armchair. No, it's not the armchair detective. The other detective dude that.
Oh, not the masked one. The masked detective.
Yes.
Oh God.
And then he wrote this whole blog about you, and I'm reading it, and I started following you before Sean Atwood. Ironically, because John Wedger was whining about you, and I'm like, who is this person that's making Wedger angry? Because I used to hate watch him, and that's how I found you. And anyway, you have never claimed that you were a police person. You always, because he's like, well, another thing. And Drogyne says that she was in the police force.
No, never did.
No, you never did. Even I know that. You said, and you've always said that you're a desk clerk, or you were a desk
clerk. I wasn't a desk clerk either. I wasn't what I was an inquiry officer and or what was called a station keeper, Bridewell Patrol. The job entailed, literally, you were a police officer, but you didn't go outside the station. So you interviewed people, you took statements. The main job was taking statements. I was responsible for the security of the station, so I could kick anyone out the station, even an inspector. The chief constable, I could kick out the station if I wanted to, if I thought they were a security risk. So literally that was it. I'd be taking statements, I'd be crime and things, I'd be making inquiries into what's going on. Actually, I had to know more than the police officer, because the police officer used to come to you and say, what's this? What do I do about this? So you'd help them out with that. If you actually watch the Sean Atwood interview, the first interview I did, I talk about unison. Why would it be in unison? I'd be in the police federation if I was a police officer. I've never said I was a police officer. Sean Atwood said that, and people got wound up about it. And we're going, and so I said, let them get on with it. And what gets me is that Kelly Davis was going on, that horrible little bigot Kelly Davis was making snide remarks about, being a cleaner and all this. And I was station cleaner. Do you know what? Why is it considered a bad thing to have been a cleaner?
Exactly.
I never got that. How dare that stuck-up little piece of scum, who is a neo-Nazi as far as I'm concerned, because she said she still supports the American podcaster. Hey, looking down a scummy little nose, someone that offers herself on a plate to Nick Williams when she's just bleeding seen him. How dare she turn around and start sticking her nose up at cleaners? I wouldn't feel demeaned being a cleaner. Never. Actually, I used to clean stages as part of my job behind the scenes when I was a technician. We all had to take turns. I don't mind. I'd be very proud to be a cleaner. Very, very proud. I think it's a good job.
It's a job that has to be done. And, what's she doing? Well, what's her claim to fame? Is she a barrister? Is she a world-famous writer?
She worked in Morrison's.
Well, there you go. So she went from... Excuse my Australian vernacular. She went from being a checkout chick.
I don't even think she was that. I don't get the idea that she'd be able to handle a checkout somehow. But, this is it. So they just go, but what they do, they try to make out, who was that? These are people that are going, it was just a civvy. There's no such thing as a non-civvy in the police. Everyone's a civilian in the police. Everyone. The chief constable's a civilian. When they say, and this is what amused me, when they turn around and say civilian police, that doesn't describe the people, the police, it describes the police officer. It's to distinguish them from the military police. Because if you go to court, right, if you're in the military, you go to a military court. A special court for the military. If you're a police officer, which court you go to exactly the same courts if you're prosecuted for a crime as anyone else would. So it's a civilian. Because I used to hear no officer saying, I'm taking off my civvies. And I'd say, no, you're taking off your civilian police officer's uniform to put on your ordinary clothes. Because my mama was and all their people were in the army, and used to get up my nose when they'd be trying to make out that there was some kind of pseudo army or force. I'd say, Here we are, Steve Harden, peekaboo. I'm unplugged in my bed and comfortable in same position as the Silence of the Lambs script reading with Heather Turner. Only invite you here was from my Ice at New Paradise Dogman. It must be lovely there, Steve, surrounded by your dog. Oh, that would be heaven to me. No one in bed surrounded by dogs. I've got all your dogs on the bed. I'd love that. He's got loads of dogs, Steve. I think
I've got one at my foot.
They're such wonderful creatures they are. I always say, if there is a God created dogs to be our companions, to teach us how to love. That's what it is. Reminds us what love is. Here we are. I can't read. Guess the name, help. So, any other views on what's going on?
Did you do the quiz? Did I miss the quiz?
It wasn't a quiz today. Do you want me to do a quick quiz?
I'd love a quick quiz. I'll get off so you can do it.
You can stay there if you want and try to answer when I'm here. You're going to be going, Alexa.
Yes. See, how will I Google the answers?
I know. So, yeah, I'll do a quick quiz before I get off. So, yeah, I'll do that. So, let's see. You were talking about ballet. Shall I ask a ballet one? Let's see. Ask a ballet one that people know. What is the name of the prince in Swan Lake?
No idea.
Come on, people. Who's the name of the prince in Swan Lake? I'm looking in the chat to see if anyone knows. Oh, someone
Everyone in
must
the
know.
chat can cheat, so cheat.
I know. That's it. Because sometimes a couple of them get it so right so quick. It's like, get out of it. Here we are. Right. No one's getting it. It doesn't look like end up taking any notice. They're all like, I'm going to tell you all. I'll give you 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we are. Got it. Siegfried. Prince Siegfried. So anyway, which ballet has the Willies in it, but it's spelt Willies? Which ballet has the famous ballet has the Willies, but people pronounce it Willies in this country?
No idea.
Does anyone in the chat know what the Willies are? You can tell by that it sounds German, so it's going to be a German-inspired ballet. Anyone know? No, they're not all going to be about ballet, not the Nutcracker. And that's someone with the name the Sugar Spun, which sounds very like the Sugar Plum, doesn't it? Yeah, that's it, Giselle. And Willy is a spirit. It's the spirit of a woman who has been betrayed in love. And apparently, in Germany in that time, the worst thing that could happen to a woman is to be, duped in love or abandoned in love by a lover, because you were condemned forever to be a spirit in the forest. And all that you do is wait for men to stray into the forest at night, and then you descend on them and keep them there until they died. You'd never let them to any man. Oh, that's my favorite ballet of all time, Giselle. It's stunning ballet. So I'll ask one more ballet question, then I'll move on because people find them a bit
We're not as cultured as you.
No. Anyway, let's see. One more ballet one. Let's see what will I ask next. Oh yeah, which ballet? Let's see. Trying to think which one. Which ballet is set in Scotland? Very famous romantic ballet. So come on, people. Which ballet is set in Scotland? Which back then was considered a faraway, mysterious place. Oh, if you've gone and seen Cleopatra, that's a rare one to see in this country. Very rare, Cleopatra. Usually it's only in Russia you see the ballet Cleopatra. No, not Hamlet. Although there is a ballet of Hamlet. It's awful, though. It's terrible. No, it's La Sylphide. La Sylphide is set in Scotland. So anyway, let's get on some, because people are going to get bored with this, aren't they? Me saying that. Right, let's ask a question. Oh, Heather. If Heather says she'll know this one. Who wrote the song, or who performed the song Long Hard Road Out of Hell? Long Hard Road Out. Come on, Carol, you should be cool.
Stevie Nicks.
No. Very rocky. Very, very rocky.
Bon Scott.
Nope. More up to date. Long Hard Road Out of Hell. It's very controversial. Can look absolutely stunning.
Controversial. And stunning.
Very tall. A goth. But a very colourful goth at times.
I'm stumped.
Here we are. Kevin's got it. Marilyn Manson. God, I love him. I love his music. I know people don't expect me to like Marilyn Manson, but I do. I think his music is brilliant. But yeah, that was him. So I'll ask another one now. Let's see. What in the album Abbey Road by the Beatles, where they're walking across the zebra crossing, what was it about Paul McCartney in that
Oh,
photograph that
I know
made
this
people
one
think he was dead? Yeah,
because he had no shoes on.
that's it. He had no shoes on, so they thought he was. That signified that he was dead. The mad theories that come out. And why did John Lennon write "I Am the Walrus" in Nonsense Face? Which I love that "I Am the Walrus."
Because didn't Paul McCartney claim something about being the walrus? There was some other conspiracy related to Paul McCartney being dead, but I can't remember.
What he said, John Lennon said the only reason he did it that way and made it Nonsense Face because he said he knew people would read things into it that weren't there. So he said there'll be a conspiracy around it, and that's exactly what started happening. He said but I love that song, I'm the Walrus. I think it's absolutely brilliant. They were the Beatles, they were just that, they just got everything so right. They did. They were amazing. The way no wonder the most famous ever. So I'll ask another one now. Shall I go on to a couple of film questions? Let's say a couple of film questions. Which horror film from the 70s are they talking about remaking? I think it's next year. They're remaking the original, which is an absolute terrible idea to remake it because it's a classic and can't be bettered. So
I know this one, but I'm going to let someone else answer. But I watched that horror film, and it scared me for weeks. I couldn't sleep.
To me, it's not so much a horror. It's more like a psychological thriller, but absolutely amazing. Not Halloween, no. Oh, bye-bye, Jamie. Bye-bye, darling. Yep, Met in My Madness. Who did you think it was, Carol? What did you think it was?
I think they were going to remake The Exorcist.
Yeah, a terrible idea. Terrible. You can't better the original, and you can't better Linda Blair's performance. You just can't do it. It's going to be a terrible idea. It's just not going to work. Look, a film as powerful that can only ever happen once. That's why the follow-ups have never worked. You can't get that shock value again. That shock value was right up the top there. You're never going to get that happening again. So it's an absolutely terrible idea to remake that film. So let's see, ask another film on. Who were the two stars of the wonderful, must be seen before you die, everyone must see it, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Who were the two stars of that film? Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
They hated each other. That's
hated each other. So, what a film! What a film! You'll just, God, you have to see it, don't you? So, which actors, within Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Not Betty. Decadent Diet Chips. That's I get on here. Here we are. There we go. Two legends, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. And God, it was my mama was a huge Betty Davis fan, and I was always a Joan Crawford fan. And I used to say to her, I'd say Betty Davis is always Betty Davis. She is. I mean, she's amazing. But I used to say, no, Joan Crawford became the person, the character. She was amazing, Joan Crawford, beyond belief. But, of course, Betty Davis outshone Joan Crawford in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Absolutely amazing film. Now, let's see. What else shall I ask? Anyway, if you've got any questions that you want to ask, any knowledgeable questions.
Okay, here's one because I lived in Australia for so long. What was Uluru first known as?
Who?
It's the rock in the centre of Australia, Its
Oh.
indigenous name is Uluru, but what was its like colonial name?
Oh God, I don't know. Yeah, that's a difficult one. So come on, people.
The big red rock in Australia, which is now
Yeah.
known as Uluru, used to be known as.
It doesn't that change colour as well as the
Yeah.
Ayers Rock.
Yep.
Is that its natural name? I didn't know that.
His natural name is Uluru, but when the English came, they called it maybe the explorer was Ayers. I don't know, but then I think in 1990, the Aborigines lobbied to get it called by its traditional name, which is Uluru.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing. But I know it's a stunning looking rock. But some parts of Australia, which are absolutely, I'd love to go to Australia. I can see why a lot of Brits emigrate there. But now it's getting. I had neighbours one side of me that had to emigrate, but they were only allowed to go to certain parts now because the cities are getting so overcrowded. And they went to Tasmania, and my neighbour saying, she said, it's amazing. She said, it's just so beautiful. But she said, the only problem is, she said, your neighbours are well away from you. She said, so to get to your neighbour is a hike, but she absolutely adores it. Thinks it's absolutely beautiful. But it's at some stunning parts of Australia. There is absolutely stunning parts. And of course, you have the romance of the 20th century there, didn't you? Jason and Kylie. Oh my! It was like Diana and Charles all over again. Oh, I'm going to start crying. I'm going to start crying. It was such a match made in heaven. It was. Oh, it was wonderful. But oh yeah, it's a stunning country. But there's parts I'd be scared to go to because you have big creepy crawlies there, and I'm not.
Oh, we do. We have. Really
I don't
big
like
spiders.
Yeah, and I believe I knew someone that went to one part and he said it would rain. They'd get these heavy rain periods and said that spiders would be washed into the houses and all that. And ones that jump, spiders that jump. Oh, I thought, oh God, no.
They're huntmen. No. They can't actually bite you because their teeth can't penetrate your skin. But they're as big as your hand and they are furry and they jump on you.
Oh.
And they are terrifying. Even though they can't hurt you, they are
It's just not nice, is it? Oh, what's this? Beth Davidson, then don't you dare mention those red graves. Did you ever see the remake of Whatever Happened Baby Jane with the Redgrave sisters? Oh, I wouldn't watch it, refused to watch it. I thought, no way. As good as they are, Vanessa and the Redgrave, no matter how good they are, no way are they a match for Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. So I never watched it. I thought it's an insult to even try to remake that. So anyway, what I'm going to do, AJ's called the Black Widow. So he just looks at it then I'll call it, because coming up to 2 hours, aren't we? My God, I've been on a long time. So I'll have to. Where do you live now? I mean, I don't mean specifically say your address, of course.
Oh, well, I was born in Birmingham, UK.
Yeah.
Family immigrated to Melbourne, Australia. Now I live in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, you were saying Dayton, Ohio, were you?
Yes, I get around. Actually, I was in Phoenix because my husband was Air Force. I was in Phoenix when Mr. Atwood was in Phoenix.
Mm. Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah. I saw it on the news when he got caught, and I was so embarrassed. I was like,
so
why did he have to be English? Why did he have to be English?
So you can verify one thing, all this nonsense that goes around about Sean Atwood, that he was never in prison, that he was only in for a couple of days, is all nonsense. And I've said that from day one. He was in prison.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There was a newspaper, a huge expose on him. He was on the news, and there was another, I can't remember, there was another reason I know it's true. Because he was on the news and it was so embarrassing because he was English, and I'm like, why?
And almost a Scouser I'm not fuming. Almost a scouser.
Well,
I should never have spoken to him. I should never have spoken to him. I should have
yes.
just blanked him. Terrible. And to find out that he's a friend of John Wedger. Ooh, God, that was the worst. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining me. When it will be on again, I might be on sooner than Wednesday, but I'll definitely be on again talking about some more dramas going to pop up that we can talk about because there's all sorts going on. So Carol, thank you, sweetheart, for checking
No
in.
worries.
And see you again, and keep on watching those ballets and studying up on them because I'll be asking more questions. So take care, everyone. Bye bye, and thank you, Paris. Thank you, Jax, my lovelies. Bye bye now.